Many objects have little secrets that you might not know about, hidden features that could change your life or alter the way you use an object. From the secret behind the lines on drinking cups to why you often find pom-poms on the top of hats, here are 10 things with clever hidden uses. Number 10. Pipe cleaners. The pipe cleaner is now renowned as an essential arts and crafts tool. You likely played around with them when you were young. To create all kinds of artistic stuff for crafts projects, they can be twisted together to make some awesome designs, and they're popular throughout the world, particularly in Japan, where the craft is known as mogul art. But these craft pipe cleaners have a surprising history. I mean, it is kind of in name. It might be stretching things a bit here to say that the hidden secret use of a pipe cleaner is to clean pipes. But when was the last time you saw someone smoking a pipe? These types of brushes, which we find as great tools for arts and crafts, were once intended only for removing moisture and residue from smoking pipes. However, pipes disappeared from the mainstream sometime between the two world wars, but the mighty pipe cleaner has surged on as popular as ever. In many ways, the pipe cleaner is something of a social climber. It's hauled itself up by the bootstraps from the rough and rugged world of tobacco pipes to the bohemian world of arts and crafts. Don't be deceived though, they were once used by smokers to clean their pipes. Number 9. That little button on the bottom of your rear view mirror. Rear view mirrors are a classic example of the kind of object we take for granted. How many times did your driving instructor yell at you to check your rear view mirrors during your lessons? Let's be honest, it was his or her primary function. But have you ever checked that mirror thoroughly? For example, that button on the bottom of the mirror. What does it do? It does perform a vital function, but one you'd never discover simply by pressing it. Ever been driving along at night and found yourself blinded by the lights of trailing cars, pinging off your rear view mirror into your eyes? That little button at the bottom of the mirror switches it into night mode with a dimmer reflection that reduces the glare of car lights. The pain you could have saved your retinas had you known. Now you do. Number 8. Pompoms on top of hats. Pom-poms in any situation are surely the height of frivolity. Who invented the pom-pom, and why weren't they doing something better with their time? Fluffy balls for pretty girls to wiggle about at American sport events are well and good. But they're not the kind of thing you pack if you were about to be dispatched to a desert island. Or are they? One of the most interesting places pom-poms appear is on the top of winter hat, a ludicrous function for a ludicrous object. You think. Think again. Pom-poms on the top of hats used to be worn by sailors to protect themselves when working below decks where bumping your head on low ceilings and jutting beams was a common hazard. Any one tool can tell you about this. How easy it is to simply stand to your full height and whack your head against the doorframe. That pom-pom is there for some cushioning and protection. If you are heading to a desert island, pack a pom-pom hat. You'll need it for the boat's journey. Number 7. Patches that aren't for patching. Ever wondered what those loose little patches of fabric that come with your expensive new jeans or designer topper? For perhaps it seems too obvious to waste your time on. They're there so you can patch the garment when wear and tear takes hold, right? Wrong. For one thing. As if you have the organizational skills to keep that little tiny patch of clothing safe until you need it for months or years later. Even if by some minor miracle you did locate the right patch, could you sew it on without making it look like the work of a 7-year-old let loose on a sewing machine? Clothing companies are fully aware of your incompetence. And the true purpose of that patch is so that you can test out various laundry detergents on a safe area of fabric, so that if a product is unsuitable, it only ruins the patch rather than your ultra-expensive clothes. It all makes sense now. Number 6. The black dots at the edge of car windscreens. There are things we see and don't see at the same time. Almost everyone will have noticed, at one time or another, a puzzling feature of car windscreens. The little black dots around the border of the windscreen. We see them every time we step into the car. But have you ever taken the trouble to work out what they do? The black dots are part of what's known as the frit, a black and normal band that connects the windscreen to the frame of the car. A pretty important job since you don't want to have the windscreen flying off at high speed. The frit also provides protection from the sun, both to the bond that holds the window screen in place and the driver of the car. Those little black dots, however, help to block and disperse the glare of sunlight at the edges of the windscreen. But why are they dots, you might say? Why not just have a solid black line? It's mostly cosmetic. The dots allow for a smoother transition from the solidity of the frit to the transparency of the window. Neat stuff. Number 5. Coins with ridges around the edges. Here's another feature we encounter almost every day and barely notice. The rich edges of coins. What are they for? Why aren't coins just round and smooth? The answer is a tribute to the ingenuity of criminals and those who set out to foil them. Back when coins were made from real silver and gold, intrepid souls looking to make some extra cash used to file down the edges of the coins, collecting the shavings and selling them on, literally turning money into money. The spoil sports at the U.S. Mint put an end to this in 1792 by introducing rich edges, since these would make it obvious if a coin had been tampered with. Why, though, does the practice continue nowadays when coins aren't even made from precious metals? The ridges still help to deter counterfeiting, since anything that makes the design of a coin more complex makes it tougher to clone. And it turns out that the ridges are also useful to the visually impaired. They provide extra texture to the edges of coins that help you tell by feel which coin you're holding. Number 4. Silica Gel Packets. You may have seen these packets of beaded gel when you open up a brand new box of shoes or a new television. Silica gel, you might think certainly gets around, but before you load it into the bin with the rest of the packaging, let's get to the bottom of it once and for all. What does this pack of beaded silica gel actually do? Silica gel is a desiccate. That's just a fancy word for something that's extremely dry, a handy quality to when you're in a box with things people want to keep crisp and fresh. Silica gel is so dry it can reduce the amount of humidity in a closed container by almost half by absorbing moisture. A pretty impressive achievement for a tiny packet. It can also be reused after saturation by heating it up to 150 degrees Celsius. That's why you should save them next time you get one. It's definitely worth popping a packet in cabinets or frames to help keep important documents and pictures safe. This means that the gel is also perfect for next time you drop your phone into water. Forget rice. Just put your phone in a Ziploc bag filled with silica gel packets, and your phone is much more likely to work properly, potentially repairing it from any water damage whatsoever. Maybe it's time to stop throwing those silica gel packets out and to find your own uses for them. Number 3. Brown beer bottle. It may be true that alcohol kills brain cells, but it can also provide us with the ability to see things in a new light and to question those things we take for granted. Perhaps in one of these alcoholic revelries, you've suddenly looked at the bottom in front of you and thought, why is it brown? Historically, beer bottles were green, but this changed in the 1930s when it was discovered that brown bottles stopped beer falling victim to an unpleasant phenomenon known as skunkiness. Skunky beer literally smelled like skunks, a phenomenon caused by prolonged exposure to light, leading to a chemical reaction, similar to that used by nature's most odious animal. Since brown bottles are far superior at blocking both visible and ultraviolet light, they protect beer better than other colors of glass. Some brewers still package beer in transparent or green glass. But if you want your beer to be safe from the threat of skunkiness, as you sure do, be sure to pick a brown bottled beer from the store. Number 2. The little bumps in your car tires. This is one for the truly eagle-eyed. If you look at your car tire, you'll notice that the smooth rubber in between each thread has awkward little plastic bumps ticking up at intervals. The bumps look like the product of lazy manufacturing, like bits of excess rubber that weren't smoothed off, but actually perform a crucial function. The bumps mark the minimum legal safe height for your tire thread. If the thread is higher than the bumps, you're in the clear. If the thread is worn down to the point where it's the same height as the bumps, your tires are no longer roadworthy and need to be replaced. They'll save you getting a 20p piece or a ruler out to measure. Number 1. Drinking cup lines are there as measurements. Solo cups are a symbol of freedom, specifically the freedom to drink too much keg beer at college parties before passing out and waking up in a hedge wearing someone else's hat and no trousers. Did you know, however, that it could have all been so different if only you'd known the true meaning of the lines on the cups? The lines that circle solo cups at various heights aren't simply there to help you grip them, though nothing fits in the hand like a solo cup. They actually act as measurements for certain types of alcohol. The bottom line marks the height of 1 ounce of spirit, a standard shot amount. The higher line marks out 5 ounces, a recommendation for a standard glass of wine. And one of the top lines shows the height to fill the cup to give yourself 12 ounces of beer. Solo actually responded to this, saying that although the lines on our Solo cups match up pretty closely with common liquid measurements, they aren't meant for that. It does seem awfully coincidental, however. Perhaps they just said this to avoid any public encouragement of alcohol consumption. Conspiracy theorists, feel free to theorize. Can you think of any more examples of helpful features that hide in plain? If so, let me know in the comment section down below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching.